Part 3. The Shield, Reputation. Let's travel back to ancient China, the War of the Three Kingdoms. The legendary strategist Zhuge Liang was sitting in a small town with a handful of soldiers. Suddenly, a scout arrived with terrifying news. The enemy general, Sima Yi, was approaching with an army of 150,000 men. Liang had no army. He had no time to flee. He was dead. But Zhuge Liang did something strange. He ordered his soldiers to hide. He threw open the city gates, and then he sat alone on top of the city wall, lit some incense, and began to play the lute. When the massive enemy army arrived, General Sima Yi halted. He saw the open gates. He saw the strategist sitting there, calmly playing music. Sima Yi knew Zhuge Liang. He knew Liang's reputation. Liang was known as the most careful, prudent man in China. He never took risks. So Sima Yi thought, if the gates are open and he is this calm, it must be a trap. There must be an ambush inside. Terrified by Liang's reputation for cunning, Sima Yi turned his army around and fled. Zhuge Liang saved an entire city without firing a single arrow. He defended himself with nothing but the story that people told about him. Welcome to Part 3 of the Strategy of Power. Today, we are discussing the only asset you truly own. It enters the room before you do, and it stays in the room after you leave. We are covering Law 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. The nature of the shield. In the laws of physics, a small object can move a large object if it has a lever. In the laws of power, your reputation is that lever. If you have a reputation for being a genius, people will applaud your mediocre ideas. If you have a reputation for being an idiot, people will ignore your brilliant ideas. If you have a reputation for being ruthless, people will surrender before you even attack. Robert Greene argues that most people leave their reputation to chance. They act however they feel in the moment, and they let others decide what to think of them. This is dangerous. A reputation is like a garden. If you do not plant flowers, weeds will grow. If you do not define your reputation, your enemies will define it for you. You must view your reputation as a shield. When you make a mistake, and you will, a strong reputation protects you. If a man known for his honesty tells a lie, people will say, he must have had a good reason. If a man known for lying tells a lie, people will say, there he goes again. The action was the same. The reputation dictated the consequence. Step 1, constructing the persona. So how do you build the shield? You cannot be known for everything. A reputation for being a nice guy who works hard is weak. It's forgettable. You must choose one singular quality to build your myth around. Think of the greats. Bismarck, the Iron Chancellor, strength. Casanova, the great lover, charm. Steve Jobs, the visionary, innovation, perfectionism. By focusing on one quality, you become memorable, you become a caricature, and once you establish that quality, it does the work for you. Steve Jobs didn't have to scream at people to get them to work hard. His reputation for perfectionism terrified them into working hard before he even walked into the room. The strategy. Choose one tag you want attached to your name. Efficiency, cunning, generosity, ruthlessness. Once you pick it, perform it theatrically. If you want a reputation for efficiency, never be late. Not once, not by a minute. Be extreme in your adherence to that trait until it becomes a legend. Step 2, the offensive weapon. Reputation is not just a shield, it is a weapon. You can destroy an enemy simply by attacking their reputation. This is called slander. In the corporate world, we see this all the time. If you want to take down a rival, you don't argue with their data. You cast doubt on their character. You drop a subtle hint. He's very smart, but sometimes he struggles with the details, doesn't he? Once that seed is planted, the boss will look for struggles with details in everything that person does, and because of confirmation bias, the boss will find it. You have poked a hole in their shield. However, Greene warns us, slander is a double-edged sword. If you are caught slandering someone clumsily, it ruins your reputation. You become known as the gossip or the snake. If you attack, you must do it with irony. You must do it with a smile. You must make it seem like you are concerned for them, not attacking them. Step 3, defending the citadel. What happens when someone attacks your reputation? This is where most people fail. When we are attacked or insulted, our instinct is to get angry. We want to defend ourselves. We want to write a long email explaining why the accusation is false. Do not do this. Defensiveness suggests guilt. If you get angry, you show that the insult hurt you. You show that you take the attacker seriously. The powerful response to a reputation attack is disdain. You treat the attack as if it is beneath you. You treat the attacker as if they are an annoying buzzing fly. Don't say, that is a lie. I am not incompetent. Say, laughing, oh, John is upset again? Let's get back to work. By ignoring the attack, you deprive it of oxygen. You show that your shield is so strong that the arrow simply bounced off. Modern application, the digital archive. In the 17th century, you could move to a new town and start over. Today, the internet is written in ink. Your reputation is your Google search history. It is your LinkedIn profile. It is that tweet you sent 5 years ago. This makes Law 5 more critical than ever. You must be paranoid about your digital footprint. Do not engage in petty arguments online. Do not post emotional rants. Every single thing you put into the world is a brick in the wall of your reputation. Is that brick strong or is it crumbling? The label trap. Be very careful about the labels people try to put on you early in your career. If you become known as the tech guy, you might never be considered for management. If you become known as the joker, you will never be trusted with serious decisions. If you feel a label sticking to you that you don't like, you must act drastically to break it. Do something completely out of character to shatter the mold. The homework, the word association audit. Here's your task for this section. It is uncomfortable, but necessary. I want you to perform a reputation audit. Ask 3 people, a friend, a coworker, and a mentor, this question. If you had to describe me to a stranger using only 3 words, what would they be? The answers will shock you. You might think you are strategic, but they might say quiet. You might think you are assertive, but they might say rude. Whatever they say, that is your reality. Reputation is not what you think you are, it is what they think you are. If you don't like the words they chose, you have work to do. You need to start performing the new quality you want. You need to start building the new shield. Because remember, Zhuge Liang didn't save the city with a sword, he saved it with a story. In the next part, we are going to look at the futility of words. We are going to learn why arguing is a trap, and why you should never ever try to prove someone wrong with logic. We are going to talk about action. I'll see you in part 4, the sword.